my channel. I'm Jess from BehatiLife. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to be talking about the biggest astrological event that is happening this year, if you ask me, and it's Jupiter's move into the sign of Scorpio. I am so excited about this move of Jupiter moving into the sign of Scorpio for many reasons, but let's just go ahead and dive right in to the details and what this means and what you can expect and what you should look out for and what you will be watching and what will be unfolding in your life. Granted, of course, there's always a little bit of flexibility that is needed because your chart is totally different than anybody else's chart. Everyone's natal chart is so unique to them, and you want to make sure that you're checking to see where Jupiter is currently moving within your personal chart. Look to find the sign of Scorpio to see where it's currently transiting, what house it's ruling, and also look to see where your Jupiter is natally. I was going to say biologically. That was weird, but look to see where Jupiter falls in your natal chart, within your natal chart, in order to see how this also will be affecting that, okay? So Jupiter, let's just go ahead and start by saying this. Jupiter is the planet that rules abundance and blessings and expansion and having fun and being loud and large and over the top. And Jupiter was once in the sign of Libra. And Libra rules relationships and beauty and aesthetic and love relationships. Did I say that twice? I think I might have. So the fact that Jupiter is moving from Libra into the sign of Scorpio. Now, think about for a moment the energy of Scorpio. Scorpio is the polar opposite of the energy that Jupiter brings. Scorpio, I'm not saying that Scorpio isn't fun because Scorpios can be fun. Scorpios are fun, but it's very intense. It's a very intense sign. It's a very passionate sign. It's very private. It's very exclusive. And it wants to dive deep into the depths of whatever it is that it's touching. Jupiter, on the other hand, is like, woo! We're here to have fun. We're here to blow this up and have, tear this up and, bring abundance over here and blessings over here and wow, wow, wow. It's like the total opposite of the energy of Scorpio. Now, no matter what your sign is, whether you're a Leo, a Virgo, a Scorpio, a Sagittarius, this move is absolutely going to affect and influence you in some way, shape, or form. So I don't want you to look at this and be like, oh, well, I'm not a Scorpio, or I don't have a lot of Scorpio ruling my chart. This isn't going to affect me. You're wrong. It is going to affect you because Scorpio within your chart rules something within your chart. And it also, when Jupiter moves into that, we're going to feel the effects of it for a long time, for months and months and months. All right? So how is it that Jupiter, this planet of abundance, moving into this private sign, how is it going to affect us and to influence us? Well, Scorpio, like I was saying before, is so intimate and so protective and so deep. And Jupiter works to expand, and to everything that it touches, it works to build up and to bring out and to highlight. So there's some, depending on what's going on in your life, some are going to, benefit from this and feel the effects of it in a positive way. Meaning, and when I say positive, it's going to feel good. It's not going to feel painful. It's not going to trigger anything. But for others, there may be a little bit of a triggeration, is what I'm going to call it. You may be triggered by this because although Jupiter is a planet that rules, is normally considered like a benefactor planet, a planet that gives goodness, it's still expanding and highlighting things that it wants to bring attention in your life. And sometimes that can be things that are painful or can trigger us in ways that we start to kind of collapse or unfold because it's difficult for us to deal with it on a subconscious level or to deal with it in our normal day-to-day lives. I hope this makes sense. Scorpio in general, though, rules this intimacy, and it rules the depth of relationships and sharing and privacy and exclusivity, if I hope that's a word. And when Jupiter was moving through the sign of Libra, that ruled love and relationships. But if you're really honest with yourself, and if we're honest here together on this platform, which of course we're going to be honest with each other here on this platform, anybody could really be in a relationship. Anybody can be in a partnership within a split second. Because I mean, like, if you wanted to pair up and be like, this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend, or, oh yeah, we work together. I mean, these are things that we can just build on a superficial level. But Scorpio says, where is the intimacy? Where is the connection? Scorpio needs you to connect with your soul and your reason for being here. Its message is so deep and so profound that you really have to dig into it in order to find and discover. So when Jupiter was in the sign of Libra, it was saying, okay, where are your partnerships? Who are you walking with? Who's side by side with you? But really, when Jupiter moves into the sign of Scorpio, it's like, well, who really is here for you? And how deep are your relationships? How deep is the connect that you feel towards others? If it's superficial, then the relationship, you know, it's just only going to stay on a superficial level. But really, what you want to do is to work to understand and to connect with others on a far more deeper level than just the title, than just what it looks like on the outside. Because as much as I hate to say it, sometimes this Libra energy can really be superficial. And Scorpio says, okay, now that we have this partnership, or now that you found this person, let's go ahead and dive deep together in order to connect on a soul level, because that's what relationships are here and designed to do, to bring us to reflect deeper upon ourselves and to help us to deeper connect with others and to understand others, and well, all of us to grow together. So the word intimacy is such a large, if you see me looking off on the side, it's because I have the chart pulled up in the moment. It's on my laptop. You guys already know this. If you're new to the channel, if you ever see me looking off to the left or to the right, it's either because I have my notes or my laptop is pulled up. My notes are technically right here, but it's only like small notes this time because I'm really just wanting to stick with my intuition and my feeling with this video. So, yeah, so that is one thing that I think is going to be huge, is the word intimacy as Jupiter moves into the sign of Scorpio. Now, when you hear the word intimacy, a lot of us sometimes think about sex and sharing, and you can have sex and not, as intimate as that is, not have an intimate connection. And again, really what this move from Jupiter's move into the sign of Scorpio says, look, we are really going to emphasize the energy of true, raw, authentic intimacy. This is something that we cannot fake. Now, I don't know if you realize this or that you've been seeing this, but a lot of times in like today's society, or in like some music or things that are going on in like advertising and marketing, sex is so blown in our faces that it's almost like kind of tossed around left and right. But when Jupiter moves into the sign of Scorpio and we hear the word intimacy, we think, okay, automatically, does this mean that, you know, I'm going to be having sex, or am I going to be connecting with people on this level? Granted, could you use this energy in that way? Absolutely. But is it recommended? No. Because the word intimacy and what intimacy is a deeply sharing, raw, authentic expression and sharing of yourself with another person. And that's something that happens and is developed over time, or just two people who are just exposing themselves and allowing themselves to be their most raw, authentic self with another person and saying, look, this is who I am. And this space that we're sharing, it's something that is sacred, and I respect that. And I respect you, and I respect who you are, and you respect who I am. And through this, we can share. Sometimes that sharing comes through sexual connection. Sometimes it's through sharing secrets, or sharing your history, or sharing your pain, your suffering. Sometimes it's you just sharing who you are, like the true version and the true vision of all of who you are with another person, and saying, look, this is who I am, flaws and all. And if you accept me, you accept me. If you love me, then you love me. If you hate me, then you hate me. It is what it is. But Scorpio rules that love and that hate, but it, more than anything, it rules that realness. So when Jupiter moves into the sign of Scorpio, yes, we have relationships. Yes, we've built partnerships. Yes, we have, and these are relationships of all kinds: romantic, platonic, business relationships, relationships with your neighbors, with strangers. Yes, we've built those connections, but how deep do those connections really go? And when Jupiter moves into the sign of Scorpio, we're working on digging into the truth and the authenticity and the realness and the rawness of sharing with people who not only are like-minded, because we're going to find people who are different from us, but we're going to connect on such a deeper soul level. In some ways, yes, this is going to come into a form of sex for some people, but more than anything, it's about finding those relationships, those connections that are so rare and so unique, and we treasure them, and we take care of them, and we build them instead of destroying them. Another thing about Scorpio is this energy of, I have to destroy the things that, you know, don't serve me or that don't work for me. And it's okay, because that destruction process that Scorpio rules helps to build a fertile ground for something more abundant to come into our lives, something that vibes better with us. And the more that we dive deep into ourselves and discover who we are, the more that we're able to authentically and really look at ourselves and find the right everything to match our vibration and our being and our entire world. All right? So this is so deep. And as big as Jupiter is, and as fun as this is, Scorpio is so real and so intense and so probing and so authentic, and wants to know to the depth of anything that it is that it touches. So I love the fact that Jupiter is moving into the sign of Scorpio. I love that it's Jupiter that's doing it and not Saturn or Pluto or Uranus or Mars, which is going to happen later on. And I love this because it's less painful and more enjoyable. And I think another thing, and you're going to hear this here first, is I think that society is going to reflect this move immediately. I think that as much as sex is kind of thrown in our faces and used so much in marketing and advertisements and in music, really what we're going to see, I feel, is this kind of like sexual reawakening or reevaluation. And why is this? Why am I focusing so much on sex? It's because Scorpio rules orgasm and the reproductive organs and sexual expression and sexual connection. And I think, and Jupiter is such an one of the outer planets, and it affects us in our personal lives, but it affects us in the grand scale of things, in our environment, our society, and the government, and the world. The world feels this. And really what I think is that I feel like my prediction is that there's going to be a total reevaluation of how we talk about sex and how we look at sex. And instead of it being so superficial, we're going to realize that there is energy that is connected to who it is that you're sharing your vibration with sexually. And we're going to look at it and we're going to take it far more seriously. And we're going to stop throwing it around like it's garbage or like it's trash. Or we're going to stop using it to possess people or to manipulate people, which is something also that Scorpio can rule, that energy of manipulating and possessing others. My hope is that we're going to begin to develop sex and look at it as something that is shared between people who are really working to intimately share themselves and to connect with another person, and also very protective of their energy with who it is that they're sharing their vibration with. Because who you're sharing your energy with, I mean, like, what are they eating? What are they doing? How do they feel about themselves? How do they feel about others? How do they feel about you? All of those things are absorbed into your body or shared with another person, whoever it is that you're having a sexual connection with. All right, so these are things that you really want to be aware of. The other thing that Scorpio rules is our finances and debt and inheritance. And Jupiter is so known for giving blessings and giving gifts. So as Jupiter moves into the sign of Scorpio, our attention is going to move on loans, student loan forgiveness, or working on our loans, house loans, mortgages, money that is coming from external environments or external circumstances or people, and is flowing into our bank accounts. Those things are going to be expanded or going to increase depending on what Jupiter rules within your chart. But these are also traits that you can see in your own world. So for those of you guys who are focusing on loans, your loans can increase, or you can focus on building your finances and paying off those loans. However, Jupiter, again, always, anything that it touches, it will expand. So don't be alarmed or shocked if you start seeing your finances or your loans, your debts kind of increasing. Especially when it comes to exploring subjects that it is that you're passionate about, or subjects, education that, you know, are connected to your soul purpose for being here, and rooting to find more knowledge, because that's something else too that Jupiter's move into Scorpio will rule within your own chart. Reproductive health is something that I think will be a highlight in the months to come with Jupiter's move into the sign of Scorpio. Again, Scorpio rules the reproductive system, and for males and females. And this is something else that we're going to be looking into. Maybe this could even connect to STDs and bacteria, viruses, diseases that and complications that are connected to the reproductive health. All of these things are going to be highlighted as Jupiter moves into the sign of Scorpio. So again, this is something too that you really want to be aware of, is the fact that Jupiter, because there's pluses and minuses to everything, you guys. There's no good one thing and one bad anything. There's good and bad to both. So Jupiter's move into the sign of Scorpio can increase STDs and things that affect the body, the reproductive health, in a negative way. But also, it can, on the flip side, affect it in a positive way, depending on your behavior and how it is that you're taking care of yourself, and how it is that you are living your life on a day-to-day basis. So just how it can expand your finances and your loans and your mortgage, especially if you're taking out mortgage for, like a mortgage for a house or anything like that, or taking out money for, oh my gosh, my plant almost fell over for some. You guys, my plants, everything has been falling so much lately in the apothecary, like just dropping left and right. It's been so weird. And I want to say that it's like a spirit or something, but I haven't felt any spirit activity lately. But just because I'm not feeling it doesn't mean that it's not there. Sometimes they are a little bit more hidden. But yeah, that's the other thing too. Scorpio rules that kind of occult and ghosts and the dead. Well, Pluto. Well, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. So of course, naturally, the things that Pluto and Mars rule, because Scorpio is co-ruled by those things, are things that are highlighted. This is going to be an absolutely amazing October and November, if you ask me, with Jupiter moving to the sign of Scorpio. It's just going to highlight all of that spooky, deep, dark energy, death, murder, mysteries, paranormal activity. Those type of things will absolutely 100% increase with this Jupiter's move into the sign of Scorpio, because it highlights it. But also, really, you want to check to see what Scorpio rules within your chart. For me, it's my fifth house of career. My fifth house of hobbies, fun, children, sex, recreation, did I say creation already? But so yeah, so these areas of my life become more intensely focused. They expand more. I'm just so excited for it across the board, okay? So let me know what you guys think. Let me know where Scorpio is moved. Let me know what Scorpio rules within your chart. Leave it down in the comments below. Let me know if you're excited or if you're fearful. But either way, this is going to be so, so good across the board. I'm excited for it. If I'm excited, you should be excited, all right? So we'll talk soon. Thank you so much. Please share, please like, please comment, and definitely subscribe. Love you. Bye.